a situation in your life that has shifted your perspective on how you view life?
So I am a very goofy person, and all my friends know me for always joking around, always being happy, which I am for the most part, but I definitely have had a lot of bumps in the road where I just have to fake it till you make it, that sort of situation, if you know what I mean. But there are a lot of different things I could talk about, but I think the main thing that I want to talk about is death. For me, I have experienced a lot of loss in my time being here. I'm 19 years old, and it's sad to say that I've seen too many of my friends go too early. A little short backup story. My closest friend in elementary school passed away from a disease in 4th grade.
2, 3.
Happy Halloween!
2 days before Valentine's Day, or 3, it was around there. But, I mean, at such a young age, losing somebody like that, it really just, it is a very just big bump in your road. Luckily, I took it and kind of ran with humor. So, I tried not to be sad. And that summer, after I lost my friend, I lost my uncle to suicide. He was at such a young age, he had 2 children, and it was just so hard to watch my mom go through that. Then around high school, I lost another friend from my elementary school. He had moved to Australia, and he had been in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was on vacation with his family when a volcano erupted. I somehow make jokes about it because I can't swear on this, how the heck does that happen, you know? Like, how do you end up in that situation? But sadly, his family and him passed away, and I remember he was like my first crush ever. And we would still like DM over Instagram because he moved. But after he passed away, I was just at such a loss in my life. Like, I was just at such a weird point, being like, okay, I'm only 15 or 16 years old. How have I already lost 2 people from my elementary school, like from my childhood? And then we get to my senior year of high school, where my year was going very well, actually. I was finally like feeling part of a friend group. I met this amazing guy who I'm now dating, and it was going really, really well. You know, I was getting through school by barely doing anything, and it was working perfectly for me. I was living my best life, going out pretty much every weekend to do sober activities. And then it hit January, and I heard the news that my friend, Dylan, passed away by suicide. And that crushed me. I remember I was driving to my boyfriend's house with him in the car when I got the call, and I literally almost crashed into a building. My hands everything went numb. Everything went numb when I heard the words. At first I just laughed, and my sister was the one that called me, actually. I don't know how she did first. And she called me, and when she was like, no, I'm being serious, Dylan passed away, I was just heartbroken. I was so numb. I remember just sitting there, like, almost crashed into a building, not moving. Logan was being like, what's going on, what's happening, and I couldn't speak. We sat there for like 45 minutes until he just drove me back to his house, and I pretty much cried for 24 hours straight. I wasn't answering any texts, any calls. I couldn't go see my friends, mourn with them. I was just so lost. And through all of these losses, you know, 3 people from my childhood and my uncle, at this point I was just like, what is this kind of world that we live in where you could just lose people like this, you know? But I was able to move on and carry on until this past summer, 2021, where I lost someone very close to me. A little backstory on this person. His name is Miles. He's an amazing man We knew each other from this class we had together, chemistry, in high school. He was 1 year older than me. And we just became really close. We would joke around a lot, and he just became like a really good friend to me. But we stopped talking for a while. A few years passed, and I was a senior, and he wasn't in college. He took a year off, but he was a year older than me. And I remember he posted something on his story being like, yo, I really need a place to stay right now. Things are kind of unsteady at home. And I like called him right away. And, I made sure that he could have somewhere to go. And it was weird because like we had not talked in literally over a year. And so he was basically like a stranger to me again. Like we just had this such long period of silence, just knowing each other from one singular class. But he ended up living with me for a while at my dad's house. And even when I was at my mom's house, I would still go to my dad's house just to make sure he was doing well. That time with him there was just unreal. It was like this stranger became a brother, and it was a bond that I like had never had. He finally taught me how to play football. He finally taught me how to cook because he was honestly so much better than me. He was just everything you could ask for of a big brother. I remember I got ditched on a date I was supposed to go on. The guy just didn't show up, and I come back home like crying, and he was there on the couch just watching TV, and he was just the best support I could have had, He was listening to me rant for the longest time. After an hour, he did fall asleep, and I didn't realize, but, it is what it is. You can only have so much. But then, after he moved out, about a month later, I was looking for a job, and, he might have said that I did a lot for him, but, he was the one that changed my life. He was the one that got me a job, was there for me every single day, would text me, would make sure I'm doing well, would just hang out. It was just, the bond didn't fade. It really didn't. And we would go on for a few weeks not even talking, but then all of a sudden we'd have the same shift together at work, and it would literally just be like right back to it. He'd give me the biggest hug, and we'd be like, we're getting on this car together because we worked at a car wash. And then this summer, I hate talking about this. Then this summer, I woke up, actually, I got woken up by my sister shaking me. Didn't even let me have a second to like wake up or anything. And she just goes, Casey, Miles is dead. And I was like, what are you talking about? No, he's not. I literally was talking to him last night. And she was like, no, Casey, like, he passed away late last night. And I was like, there's no way. I looked it up, and there was like no proof. We couldn't find anything. And then after about 30 minutes, there was an article that came out from like Chicago police. And I mean, it shocks me to say this man who, just this amazing guy, it said that he was murdered, that he was getting out of his car to go visit his dad in the city and his little brother, who he only ever sees every other weekend or so, just to say hi. He was getting out of his car late at night, and these two men approached him and shot him in the chest. And his little brother found him the next morning, laying outside on the concrete, not breathing. And, to hear this guy who never got into any trouble, who was just always so loving, who, like, I don't even have the words for it, Now,
we're going through a terrible time, but does not mean we fold, okay? We do not fold. That's not how it works. We are the human race. We push through. We keep going through. We help each other out. We don't sit there and cry and be like, I can't see this person. Yes, I know you can't see them. we can't see the people we want to see, but you can still message them. You can talk to them. Think about it like this. They always say, what happens if tomorrow's not promised, and our year was not promised? It's gone now. What if became it's only crazy till it becomes reality, and now that what if is our reality. Now what if this gets worse? What if someone you know gets infected? And it only sounds crazy till it's reality. So I'm saying, go express some positivity. Like, stop posting these sad posts. Tell that person who you hang out with, like, bro, I miss you. Call them. Do whatever you gotta do. Or even people you don't talk to, or someone you always want to talk to, just talk to them. We're all gonna need this, and you don't know who needs it the most. So don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Tell them that they're nice, they're cool. You know, you wish you could have hung out. Or when this is over, let's hang out. Like, because you don't, like, as I said, it's only crazy till it's your reality. And it's only be crazy that, oh, my friend will be here. Hey, bro, no one knew this was gonna happen. But you never know if your friend's gonna fall to coronavirus. You don't know. Just be cool. Just be nice. Just vibe it, bro. Just vibe it. Alright? Class of 2020, we strong. We out here. But everyone else, y'all with us. Y'all part of our family.
That your love is gone.
He was so amazing, you know? He was perfect. Just gone, you know? Just gone for no good reason. He wanted to be here too, which is the worst part, is like, he had this entire future planned for him. He knew exactly what he was doing. And the next day after he was killed was actually his birthday. I mean, it's just like, talking about it just doesn't even seem real. And sometimes I'm numb to it, and other times I'm not. Like, yesterday I was just in my car, and all of a sudden a song came on, a rap song that I remember going off with him in the car. And I literally just started, like, bawling randomly, and I'm like, oh my god, come on, it's been almost 6 months now. Like, get your... But, I mean, it's just, like... There's some people in your life that you don't think that you'll have to live without, and then you do. And losing him was just the biggest perspective change. It honestly brought me into the biggest down spiral ever. I was just so confused with God, with life, with myself. I was like, how could you possibly lose somebody that wants to be here, you know, that has done nothing wrong? It just doesn't make sense to me, you know. It still doesn't. He should be here. He really should. And at school, like, I'll be fine, I'll be having a good day, and then I'll go out, and then all of a sudden I'm just bawling. I can't breathe, I'm shaking, and all I can do is, like, scream his name. And it sucks. Because, like, no matter what I do, I know I can't get him back. And I just want, like, one more moment to hug, you know, this stranger who became my brother. And it's really hard, you know. Not waterproof mascara. But anyways, I think about all the good times I had with him, and, like, that is just the best part of having somebody who's just so amazing in your life. You know, he might have died way too soon and way too young and way too tragically, but oh my god, did he leave an impact, you know? I'm so grateful for him. I am. And I'm also grateful for the friends that he gave me, you know, after he passed. The day after he passed, this guy named over to my house, and we literally, like, barely ever talked. We just knew each other from work, but he was Miles's best friend. They were brothers, you know? And we weren't that close, but we shared that pain, you know? We had barely, like, talked or gotten that close, and then the day after he passed, he came over to my house, and we just sat there and held each other and cried. And we still check in with each other all the time. And we'll randomly send each other TikToks, and it's like we really aren't even like that close, but like we just have this bond where I know if I need anything, he's not my brother. And if he needs anything, like he's got a sister, you know? And I mean, I'm so grateful for him. No matter how little or how much we talk, it's like I have a part of Miles with me. And honestly, like, losing somebody, no matter if you're close with them or you're not, you know, it really just makes you realize, like, and this is so cliche, it really is, but like, everybody you meet is so important. And you don't know whether you're gonna have it tomorrow. You don't know whether you have another minute, you know? Anything could happen. Anything. You could have the best date planned out for tomorrow, or your best friend or your cousin could, and it could just be stripped away from them, you know? And that's really dark to even talk about. But, you know, I mean, I look at all my friends now, and there isn't a day where I'm not grateful for them. Even when I get in fights with them or anything, I'm like, come on, like, how amazing is it that I get to have these people in my life? Whether it's for a short time or a long period, it's a blessing. And I've pondered it over it so many times, like why somebody could be taken away from you so soon. And I constantly am still, and I still don't fully understand, but, you know, it does make me appreciate the people I have so much more. And it makes me appreciate just seeing another random stranger on the street talking about their life on the phone or something. You see them and you're like, they have this whole other world out there, and like, I don't know, God bless them, you know? I hope they're happy, and I hope they're making the people in their lives happy. And you can either think of it as like, you know, we're gonna go someday and you can't really do anything about it, or you could think, we are gonna go someday. And we sure left a dang mark on this world, or on one person or another. And I want to share a poem. Is that okay, Sarah?
Yes, of course.
And I want to share this poem that I constantly read, that my neighbor actually gave to me after she had just lost her grandma, and I was going on a retreat. And this was 2 days after I lost Miles. And so she gave me this so that I could get through it. It's a poem that she found on TikTok. So it goes, when tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not there to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes all filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today, while thinking of the many things we didn't get to say. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. And each time that you think of me, I know you'll miss me too. But when tomorrow starts without me, please try to understand that an angel came and called my name and took me by the hand, and said my place was ready in heaven far above, that I have to leave behind all those I dearly love. I just want to share that because if any of you are going through any sort of loss in your life, that kind of just, you know, helps you, me, anyone just kind of feel peace with it, that they're safe, you know. I don't know what's real or what's not about heaven and afterlife, but just that, like, kind of gives me a little comfort knowing that they are at peace. I'm not really sure how to end this whole thing, but I guess the main message that I'm trying to go with is to appreciate everybody around you, whether you are happy with them right now or not, you know. Text them, I love you. Just get off your phone, stop doing homework, even if you're at a party, like, it doesn't matter, just remind somebody that you love them.
How are you before the situation? Because I know how you are now, but how is it before everything happened? Like, were you always getting in fights with people, not starting drama, but in it? Like, how was your perspective, like, really switch from prior to after?
So, I mean, the thing is, after I did lose my friend Lacey in elementary school, that was an ultimate thing to me that was like, you have to appreciate the people around you, you know? I just lost one of my closest friends, and, you know, as such a young child, it's like, where do you go from here? Like, what about all my other friends? What's going to happen to them, you know? So from the get-go, like, when I was really young, I had an appreciation for everyone. But, you know, it was a reminder, though, that I did need, even though I just lost Dylan. And that was such a big reminder. Like, just before that, I kind of felt like I was kind of getting caught up in finally, you know, being invited places and whatever, because high school was kind of rough for me. And I always had so many friends, but I always felt like I couldn't find a group, you know? And then my senior year, I finally found people that always wanted to go out with me and whatever and this and that. And I was kind of just getting caught up in myself. I wasn't actually finding happiness from myself and the world and things that actually matter. I was solely finding happiness from what's cool, what's in, and if people are liking me, sort of thing. And I was not in a way using people, but like using people for my happiness, you know? To make sure that I still had these people around. And after I lost somebody, then I realized I cut so many people out of my life for the sole reason that I'd be able to keep hanging around these specific people, who are amazing, who I love, but, you know, I dropped so many people, and it made me realize, like, I could lose one of these people I haven't talked to in a few months, who I love, and I will never have a second word with them, you know? And having that reminder was, like, reach out to everybody. I started talking to, like, my elementary school friends all over again, like, so much. We all started texting again. I started texting, like, my camp friends and, like, the most random people, and it just reminded me, like, even to this day, I'll still randomly text people, because it's not like you know if somebody's going to leave, and that's not why you should be texting people. Not because, oh, they might be gone one day, but just for the sole reason that why not make an extra memory with somebody you love, you know? And so I think that's kind of what changed after the last person, after Miles, you know? I was like, that's it. I'm done just letting people go without me having a last word, you know? Without making more memories. And so I feel like my life has significantly gotten better because I appreciate the smaller moments with different people and with people, and, you know, and yeah, that's all pretty much.